Hello! Welcome to take 2 of Pokemon Gold. Um, I have been on hiatus for a while, and I'm very sorry about that. Um, the, uh, the thing is, I, it's all gonna be in the description. Everything, the whole explanation is going to be in the description, but I know not everybody has access to the description, like if you're watching on Xbox or if you're watching uh, uh, on Apple TV. I think you can't get to the description. Um, so, I'm going to just real quickly, I'm just going to explain what happened. I got sick. Well, okay, so why I was on hiatus was because I got sick, and then the holidays happened, and then I got sick, and then I somewhere in there was also burnout. Like I not burnout the game series, which should totally come back, but also I burnt out. I was just exhausted. Um, but it was a combination of burning out, sickness, and the holidays. Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving also, because I haven't uploaded in that long. The reason I'm doing a take 2 of Gold is because I accidentally deleted an episode of Gold before I uploaded it, and then uploaded the episode of Gold that came after it. So basically, I had a missing episode of Gold, and everything was screwy. So what's happening is I'm redoing Gold. And the reason I'm doing Gold in the first place is because the reason I did Red was because I wanted to do Gold, if that makes any sense. I Let's Played Pokemon Red, if you don't remember, or are new to my channel. And I had to do a take 2 of that. I haven't been able to do anything once over. Like, I had to do a take 2 of Mother, and I had to do a take 2 of Pokemon Gold, and I'm gonna have to do a take 2 of Pokemon, or of Red. And I'm going to do a take 2 of Pokemon Gold, and now I'm gonna have to do a take 2 of Earthbound for reasons. But I'm going to eventually just play a game and start it and finish it and not have to restart it. I hope. But the reason I played Pokemon Red in the first place is because I wanted to eventually get to Gold, because Gold is my favorite Pokemon game. It was the one I spent most of my childhood with. Like, I got Yellow as my first Pokemon game, and I did play a lot of the first generation, but I spent most of my time playing the second generation. Like, I've played a lot of the generations after it, too, but, man, like, my childhood was Generation 2. So, that's why Gold is probably my favorite Pokemon game. So we're gonna start a new game. There is a time mechanic in this game, which I actually I have a little check mark, like a checklist of things I wanted to talk about, and I had this for later, and I don't know why I had this for later when I could have talked about it right now. But there's a time mechanic, and I'll go into it in more detail later. So I won't check it off right now. Oak's an old fart who slept in until 11:48 apparently. This is a new Pokemon that was revealed before Gold and Silver came out, and nobody knew what it was called. And so people called it, among other things, Pika-Blue. Because it looks kind of like a blue Pikachu. I don't see it. I never saw it, and I don't see it anymore. Still don't see it to this day. I kind of like how in Generation 3 they made it so that your name, the default name, wasn't the name of the game. It was kind of nice. Anyway, this is so let me do a refresher on Pokemon, in case you haven't been here in a while, in case you haven't played Pokemon in a while, in case you are new to the series, in which case, hello, welcome to Pokemon. You jumped in on the perfect generation, because this is the one where everything got great. Or in case your only exposure to Pokemon is my Let's Plays, in which case I feel terrible for you. So Pokemon is a game where you raise creatures to fight for you, but it's not... but it's not unethical. It's a world where that is not an unethical thing. There's actually a lot of, like, later on in the games, that's, like, part of the lore, is, like, is this an unethical thing? Is this okay for us to do? And then there's, like, one of the villainous groups is, like, an even more evil PETA. Because if you don't know, PETA is evil. PETA, what they fight for is not evil, but their methods are. And then they go and are more deadly to animals than any shelter is. It's a big mess, and just talking about it makes me sick. That's my short refresher on Pokemon that ended up being a rant about PETA, because I don't know, I just can't stick to one topic, but anyway. So this is the options we have available to us right now. We have the pack, which is now, if you remember before, was just a big long list of items and was a huge mess. Starting with this game, it is now different pockets for different items. So we have regular items, Pokeballs, key items, and Techno Machines and Hidden Machines, which are Hidden Machines? Is that what HM stands for? Which are the things that you can use to teach your Pokemon moves. We'll get into what if you're coming into this and you don't know what a Pokemon is, then you are probably really confused. Like, you probably think this is the weird part of YouTube. Which, if you're coming into this and you don't know what a Pokemon is, you probably think Let's Playing is the weird part of YouTube, which it can be sometimes. This is the trainer card, and it looks like this now. It's all colorful. This was made for the Game Boy Color, and I'm playing it on a Game Boy Advance emulator, which will sometimes screw up the game. It will throw garbage onto the screen, and then the garbage will go away. So don't worry about that. The option menu looks like this now. It used to just be text speed, battle scene, and battle style. I believe the sound setting was not even available in Generation 1, so now we can listen to it in glorious stereo. Print typed is because this is compatible with the Game Boy printer accessory, which I will not... I maybe will show, assuming Visual Boy Advance is compatible with the Game Boy printer, like has a Game Boy printer emulation. Menu count is that little thing when I'm on the main menu. Frame changes this part. I go with frame 1 because it's distinctively gold and silver. Cancel. and the network. The PC has changed slightly. This is only your PC that does this. I think maybe the PCs in Poké Centers have some upgraded functionality too. But your PC has a mailbox and a decoration option. The mailbox is mostly for when you trade Pokemon with other people playing the game, and then the decoration is for the mystery item thing, the mystery gift thing, which I'm not going to be doing because there's no functionality to it when you're emulating. So, there's a radio thing now, which right now is off the air. There will be a couple more pauses than usual because I now have a checklist that I'm checking off to make sure I talk about the things I want to talk about. Here is the town map, which I didn't put in my checklist, but I want to talk about this. Should really be called a region map, because a town map would just show the layout of the town. The town map in the game shows the layout of the region. That makes no sense to me. This is your mom. She has a great song. She just got a great beat. This is a Pokegear we just got. It is Friday. It's Friday? My grandma has just confirmed it's Friday. Yes. It is not daylight savings time. Yes, it's not, because we fall back in the fall and spring forward, and then yes, it's not daylight saving time. 11:55. It is a minute slow, but that's okay. I'm gonna say I don't know how to use the phone. So I'll explain what the Pokegear is exactly when this conversation is over. For right now, just enjoy the music. Okay, so the Pokegear is basically it's a early flip phone, dumb phone, cell phone. phone. Whose phones? Their phones. See, it's not as funny because my Earthbound playthrough isn't going, but it's a reference to Earthbound. It's a paraphrase of something said in Earthbound. So if you imagine like an old Nokia flip phone, it's basically one of those, but tailored to Pokemon. So, it shows you the time of the day, it shows you what day it is, and you have a cell phone. And also notice, and this is a really cool feature, I think, of the game, like, I don't know if this is like, I don't know if they were thinking about this or not, but like, notice how the menu is white here, and it's like an off green here. It's like a greenish white here. It reminds me of like the LCD screens of those old Nokia phones. And so, anyway, so this will get upgraded later on in the game to be like, to have like more functions, but right now it's literally just a cell phone, which is pretty cool in my mind. And then, oh, I meant to look this up, and before I started my Let's Play, but I didn't, so here we go. Here's me not knowing this reference again. In the first game, when you inspect the TV on the bottom floor of your house, it's a reference to Stand By Me, like it's like, 4 boys are walking on a track. I better make tracks too, or something like that. I don't even know if they make that dumb pun. That might be, like, too bad of a pun for even Generation 1. But here it says something like, stars dot the sky as 2 boys ride on a train. I'd better get rolling too. Like, it's a bad pun, but it's not as bad a pun as I'd better make tracks too. I don't know that reference. I do not get that pop culture reference. so I'm completely stumped. In the comments, please tell me what that reference is. In fact, I'm actually going to... Can I tell it I didn't... Yeah, okay. No. I think my controller batteries might be going because the D-pad isn't listening to... Oh, there's the garbage hack! And it's gone. Okay, I have this listed under in my checklist as talk to everyone, the joy of RPGs. And that's not sarcasm. I do love talking to everybody in RPGs. But yes, so you'll occasionally see that happen when I talk to people. Especially if it's Nurse Joy, who, if you don't know, is the person in the Poké Centers. If you don't know what a Poké Center is, that's where you heal up your Pokemon. The person in the Poké Center who heals up your Pokemon will more often than not, more often than anybody else, throw the garbage up on the screen. So I have to sit there and wait for my Pokemon to heal while garbage is on the screen. So you'll notice it's currently... It was day. So I'll explain the day mechanic when we get outside. See how the floor, like the pathway, is pristine, it's white. It's, the houses are white with, you know, little dots to represent the bricks. In the morning, anytime before 10, I believe, maybe 9, I'm pretty sure it's before 10, in the morning, that white is kind of yellowed. It's really cool. It's not as yellow as the yellow around the doors to represent the lights being on, but it's slightly yellowish. It's a cream color almost. And then at night, everything's different. It is just night time. And it's so cool. And of course, you'll see them, because I'm going to be recording at different time periods to get different Pokemon. Because Pokemon change what, you know, different Pokemon appear at different times of night, times of day, because one of my favorite Pokemon in this game is an owl. They're not a jerk, apparently. So I'm going to show off all of the Pokemon, but I'm going to pick the one that the Bulbapedia walkthrough suggests I use. By the way, that's the walkthrough I'm going to be using, is the Bulbapedia one. This is Chikorita, or Grass-type Pokemon. Grass is not that easy to find in Johto, our region, but it will get absolutely destroyed by the first gym, so maybe don't pick it. First 2 gyms, even. This is Cyndaquil, the Fire-type Pokemon. It's not going to get destroyed by the first gym, but it's hard to train because it doesn't learn a Fire-type attacking move until, like, really far down its level of chain. Also, there's a lot of water types, so it's hard to train in that sense, but also there's a lot of water types, So even though Totodile is the one they suggest, the water type, Cyndaquil is the one they suggest next as like the second best choice because it's because there's a lot of water types and you can get a water type easily once you get your fishing rod. And you don't even need a fishing rod. You can just walk in grass and find a water type later on. And you don't really need to start with a water type. But they suggest Totodile because it's a strong attacker right away. Now I'm gonna nickname all of my Pokemon, and I'm not gonna obfuscate. I was debating if I was gonna say that this time, but I did. I'm not gonna obfuscate the nicknames of my Pokemon. So King K. Rool specifically. Well, he goes by a bunch of different names. King K. Rool is the bad guy of the original Donkey Kong Country series, and is now a fighter in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And also I want him to come back into Donkey Kong Country. And off you go to Cherry Grove. I tried to make that kind of rhyme. Hello. So, here we can see some new features of Pokemon, and I meant to go over these before we went into the grass, but it's a little late. Oh, actually, I never even mentioned this. You can actually see the experience points your Pokemon have while you're in battle through an experience points bar. You'll notice Pokemon that you encounter never have an experience points bar, but your Pokemon do. And then also Pokemon have gender now. It's basically inconsequential. It's pretty much just lets them breed, which is a thing that happens later on in the game, and then is there for looks, essentially. Later games will have Pokemon have different features, you know, non-sexual, no, it's sexual dimorphism is the term, is the scientific term for it. And it's when creatures, it's when, in this game it'd be Pokemon, but it's when animals have characteristics that are not sexual in nature, but are different between the sexes. So, like, in whatever future generation it is, Rattata, which you should know if you know Pokemon, because it's okay, so give me a second to continue my thought. Rattata, which is the purple rat thing, has shorter, whiskers, shorter, those things. They're not whiskers, but they're, whatever those things are called on animals. I think they're called, you know, whiskers, whatever they're called. Shorter whiskers on the female in, like, Generation 5 or something like that. maybe Generation 4 even. It's really cool. Anyway, this is eccentric. This is new to this generation, which is Generation 2, which is the generation I should be talking about. Hello. It's kind of a Japanese flying mouse thing, crossed with a raccoon. Just a raccoon, not a tanuki, I think. And it's really cute. I like it. It's got a great name because it's eccentric, because it's eccentric. It, like, stands up on its tail to look around, which is, it's also prairie dog, so it's like 3 different things all at once. And then it evolves into just a ferret, called Ferret. It's like, just one thing after being 3 things. Anyway. Then, oh, let me actually discuss Pokemon for a second, because there's a few other new things. So, here's the stats menu for your Pokemon. You can see how close they are to leveling up, as usual. You can see their experience points, how many they need to level up, the bar of how many they need to level up, which is nice. You can see their moves, the item they're carrying, which is a new thing. They can carry items. Their attack, defense, special attack, special defense, speed, none of this is new. But now you can see their moves and what each move does. And you can also, in this menu, I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to, you can change the moves' orders. So you can put Leer ahead of Scratch if you're crazy. And then here you can give or take an item from a Pokemon. I'm not going to take his berry from him because he deserves that berry. He's been doing very good. He's been doing very good. Now I'm going to go into this gate and talk to these people, but I'm not going to go past the gate because there's other Pokemon past there that I don't know. And are probably higher level. Now that guy mentions it, and another gal mentions it here, but there are ledges, these ledges. And even though they're colored brown in this generation, they were colored like green. They were always colored like the color of the root in the previous generation. Even though they're colored brown, like a ledge, I still see them as hedges until like Generation 3. It's so ridiculous. This is a berry tree. It's a fruit berry tree. And what berries do is they, normal berries will heal your Pokemon like 10 HP or something like that. Maybe a little less. But if you give the berry to your Pokemon, it will use it on its own when it's hurt enough. And they're smart to not use it when they don't need to. See? K. Rool just ate his berry, but not before he needed to. The Pokemon are pretty smart. They get even smarter going on down the line, in later generations when it comes to berries. Because the berries become smarter too. In the next generation, the berries are even more advanced. Like right now, we just have like berries and special berries and berries that heal a little bit more HP. And then berries that heal poison or paralysis or stuff like that, confusion. And then later on there's berries that'll heal like, this is a berry that heals this, but also causes this. And it's so crazy. I'm not talking because this music is great. It's the Follow Me song, and every generation has it, and I love it. That's the Follow Me song for this generation, and I think it's my favorite, but I haven't heard the Follow Me song from Generation 3 in a while, and I remember Generation 3 having great music. So... Oh, come on. I definitely need to put some new batteries in this controller, so... before the next episode, that will happen. No Pokeballs! Gee, I wonder why. Is it because I'm in town? I will talk about the communication center in a second. And this is where I do it. So the communication center replaces the little trading center from the first game where you traded and battled Pokemon with other players. And you'll notice there's two things here. Here's a trading, and here's a battle, and here's a... what is this? Well, this right here is a time machine, because Generation 1 takes place 3 years before Generation 2. So if you want to trade anything from Generation 1, or even from Generation 2 into Generation 1, if it's compatible, you have to go forwards and backwards in time. And that's going to be the end of this episode. I hope you're not too mad that I'm doing a take-two of Pokemon Gold, but it just has to happen. I messed up with that recording, and in fact, speaking of recording, I need to do something here. I have to make sure I don't have any... So that one's today's, so I can't delete that one, but I can delete this one. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to save this. And that's going to be the end of the episode. And I'll see you next time.